Paul Heyman just stabbed Brock Lesnar in the back after 20 years of loyalty, and now the Beast Incarnate is about to unleash absolute chaos as the new leader of the Vision. If you thought you knew what Betrayal looked like in WWE, you haven't seen anything yet. This isn't just another storyline twist. This is the complete destruction of the most iconic partnership in wrestling history, and what happens next will change everything you thought you knew about dominance in WWE. How dare Paul Heyman throw away 2 decades of brotherhood for Roman Reigns? And now Brock is turning the Vision into his personal army of destruction? The disrespect is unreal. After everything Brock Lesnar did for Paul Heyman, after making him millions, after trusting him with his entire career, Heyman turns around and picks Roman Reigns over the man who made him relevant. The audacity is absolutely disgusting. For years, we watched Heyman stand beside Lesnar through conquering The Undertaker's streak, demolishing John Cena, and dominating every single champion who dared step in the ring with the Beast. But apparently, none of that mattered. Apparently, 20 years of loyalty means nothing when Roman Reigns comes calling with his tribal chief nonsense. Now here's where it gets absolutely insane. Brock Lesnar isn't just sitting around feeling sorry for himself. No, the Beast Incarnate is doing what he does best, taking what he wants by force. Reports are flooding in that Lesnar has seized control of the Vision, the faction that's been lurking in the shadows of WWE for months. And with Brock at the helm, this group is about to become the most destructive force we've ever witnessed. We're talking about a man who suplexed his way through the entire roster, now leading a team of hungry, vicious competitors who want to prove themselves to the most dangerous man in WWE history. But let's rewind for a second, because you need to understand just how deep this betrayal cuts. Brock and Paul's relationship started back in 2002 when a young Lesnar burst onto the scene as an unstoppable monster. Heyman was the voice, the mastermind who crafted the perfect narrative around Brock's physical dominance. Together, they were unstoppable. They revolutionized what it meant to be a heel in WWE. Every promo, every confrontation, every championship victory was a masterclass in storytelling. And Heyman benefited massively from this partnership. His status, his paycheck, his entire legacy was built on the foundation of being Brock Lesnar's advocate. So when Heyman made the decision to align himself with Roman Reigns, choosing the bloodline over the man who actually earned his loyalty, it wasn't just a professional decision. It was a personal slap in the face. It was Heyman essentially saying that everything he and Brock built together was meaningless compared to Roman's political maneuvering and family connections. That's what makes this situation so infuriating. Heyman didn't leave because Brock failed him. He left because he saw an opportunity for more power with Roman, and he took it without any hesitation. Now, before we dive deeper into what Brock's leadership of the Vision means for WWE's future, we have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. The Vision has been operating in the background for several months now, with whispers of their intentions spreading throughout the locker room. They've been picking off mid-card talent, making statements in dark matches, and positioning themselves as the next big threat in WWE. But without a true leader, they were just another faction trying to make noise. That all changed the moment Brock Lesnar walked through their door. Suddenly, the Vision has purpose, they have direction, and most importantly, they have the most legitimate basis in WWE history telling them exactly how to destroy everyone in their path. Think about what this means strategically. Brock Lesnar has always been a one-man wrecking crew. He never needed a faction because he could demolish entire tag teams by himself. But now he's not just thinking about personal dominance. He's thinking about legacy. He's thinking about building an empire that will make Roman Reigns and his precious bloodline look like children playing dress-up. The Vision under Lesnar's leadership isn't about money or titles or spotlight. It's about revenge. It's about making Paul Heyman regret every single second of his betrayal. Here's a question for you wrestling fanatics in the comments. Who do you think will be Brock's right-hand man in the Vision? Drop your predictions below because we want to hear who you think is ruthless enough to stand beside the Beast Incarnate. The roster is terrified right now, and they should be. When Brock was working alone, you could at least try to avoid him. You could hide behind contract negotiations or injury angles or creative differences. But now there's nowhere to hide. The Vision is everywhere. They are in catering, they are in the guerrilla position, they are scouting every match and every weakness. And Brock is training them personally, teaching them his philosophy of violence and intimidation. This isn't a faction that's going to cut long promos and play political games. This is a hunting party, and everyone on the roster is prey. Roman Reigns has to be panicking behind closed doors. The tribal chief built his entire empire on the foundation of Paul Heyman's strategic brilliance and his family's legacy. But what happens when he has to face a faction led by someone who's actually conquered legends? Brock doesn't need family connections or manipulative promos. He walks into the ring and breaks people in half. And now he's got an entire group of athletes ready to do the same thing. The bloodline is strong, sure, but they've never faced anything like the Vision under Lesnar's command. WWE management is reportedly in crisis mode trying to figure out how to book this situation. You can't just have Brock and the Vision run roughshod over everyone without completely destroying your roster's credibility, but you also can't make the Beast Incarnate look weak after such a personal betrayal. This is the kind of storyline that could define the next era of WWE, but only if they execute it properly. One wrong move and the entire thing falls apart. The locker room is apparently splitting into fact irons themselves. Some superstars see Brock's takeover of the Vision as an opportunity to finally stand up to Roman's tyranny. Others view it as just trading one dictator for another. And then there are those who are smart enough to stay completely silent and hope they don't get caught in the crossfire. Because make no mistake, when Brock Lesnar decides he wants to make an example of someone, there's no amount of politicking or backstage influence that can save you. You're getting F5D through the ring, and everyone's going to watch it happen. Another question for the comment section: do you think Paul Heyman will eventually regret betraying Brock Lesnar? Let us know what you think, because this debate is heating up in the wrestling community. The most fascinating aspect of this entire situation is watching Brock's evolution as a character. For 20 years, he was the silent destroyer with Heyman doing all the talking. Now, he's being forced to become a leader, a strategist, a general commanding troops. Early reports suggest that Brock is actually thriving in this role. He's not just barking orders, he's mentoring, teaching, and building something that could outlast even his own legendary career. This isn't just about revenge anymore. This is about legacy. This is about proving that Brock Lesnar doesn't need Paul Heyman to be the most dangerous man in professional wrestling. The Vision's targets are becoming clear. They are not going after jobbers or mid-carders exclusively. They are systematically dismantling anyone associated with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. It's psychological warfare at its finest. Every time someone close to Roman gets destroyed by the Vision, it's a message directly to the tribal chief: you took something precious from me, now I'm taking everything from you. And Paul Heyman has to watch it all unfold, knowing that his decision created this monster. What makes this storyline so compelling is the legitimate emotion behind it. This isn't a scripted beef that started 3 weeks ago for a pay-per-view. This is 20 years of real partnership being obliterated in a moment of calculated betrayal. When Brock cuts promos about Heyman's disloyalty, you can hear the genuine hurt underneath the rage. When Paul tries to justify his decision by pointing to Roman's success, you can see the guilt in his eyes. This is storytelling at its absolute peak because the emotions are real. The WWE Universe is completely divided on this issue. Some fans believe Paul made the right business decision and that Brock should have seen it coming. Others think Heyman is a snake who deserves everything that's coming to him. And honestly, both perspectives are valid, which is what makes this such incredible television. There's no clear hero or villain here. Just people making difficult choices and dealing with the brutal consequences. So where does this all lead? If WWE books this correctly, we're heading toward an absolute war between the Vision and the Bloodline that could main event WrestleMania. Imagine the build-up, months of attacks, betrayals, shocking alliances, and psychological torture, all culminating in the biggest match possible. Brock Lesnar leading the Vision against Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, with Paul Heyman forced to watch his two former clients destroy each other. That's money. That's history. That's the kind of storytelling that creates legends. The wrestling world is watching closely because this isn't just about WWE anymore. This is about what betrayal costs, what loyalty means, and whether revenge is ever truly satisfying. Brock Lesnar is about to answer all those questions with an F5 to everyone who doubted him. The Vision is his now. The future of WWE is in his hands. And Paul Heyman? He'd better hope Roman Reigns can protect him when the Beast comes calling. What do you think happens next? Will the Vision destroy the Bloodline completely, or is this all part of some larger plan we haven't figured out yet? Drop your theories in the comments and let's discuss this absolutely insane development in WWE storytelling.